You said Phil?
Huh?
Phil?
Phil?
No, remind me of your name again.
Doug.
Doug. Why did I am so sorry. Welcome back to Christina's Garage, Gearhead in Training. I'm in Reno, Nevada for hot August nights. I'm only going to be here for one day, so I thought might as well walk around, find some cool cars, see if the owners are actually next to the cars so we can learn a little bit more about them. I just met Ricky and he is driving a
73 C10.
C10. So I'm trying to like figure out the differences when I see it, like an S10 and C10.
So S10s are gonna be your newer body styles. C10s were probably 60, well, early 60s to 87. And then after that, they kind of started changing to the OBSs and the S10s and stuff like that.
Do you mind telling me the backstory? You mentioned that you didn't actually mean to get this one initially.
Yeah, I had a 67 that I loved, and when I retired from the military, I sold it. And kind of kicked myself in the ass for that for a long time. So I was building a 61 Impala. It was in paint jail for like 3.5 years. The guy said it'd be done in 6 to 9 months, and it wasn't. So we bought this just to drive around, and I was gonna do a little simple drop on it and cruise it with my buddies. And then it just kind of got away from us, and we started building it. We lowered it. A couple buddy of mine, Jason, helped me get it on the ground. And then unfortunately, a couple months after that, we got smacked in the rear end at a show down in Avila Beach. So we were kind of at that crossroads where like, do we just paint a little bit of it, or do we just go with a complete rebuild? And we just decided to go complete rebuild. So the truck's only got about 30 miles on it right now. I'm still kind of working out the kinks, so we're not cruising it too much right now, just because we're trying to make sure it's worthy before we start hitting the road.
So when you get hit did you get hit by like behind, like just trying to think of the damage that was done?
So we were parked on the beach at Avila Beach down by Pismo, and we were parked in front of like restaurants, kind of like this. And somebody backed out and sideswiped us. So on the driver's side, they smacked like where the tail light is and just smashed up the side and the back of the truck.
Did it make damage to, because I know about, like, because I have a Camaro, the unibody. I don't know so much about how trucks are laid out in terms of frame and all of that.
So that wasn't so bad. The problem is because we lay on the ground, the pinch weld is down here at the bottom. It lays on the ground, so when you get hit, that drags. So it ripped the pinch weld, kind of ripped the bottom of the cab off, not off, but over. So it made the damage a lot more than it would have if I'd just been sitting up at normal height. Mm-hmm. But it was just one of those things like, do you want to paint a quarter of the truck? Insurance is going to pay for it, but I was like, let's just rebuild the whole truck. So. And
a bunch of body work probably was involved with that too.
Yeah, we did some body work in the back, and then just took that opportunity to kind of do some other things, shave some drip rails, do the metal work here, do some metal work in the bed. So. And then it just keeps going.
I just met Dan, and this is a really cool, do you call it a bus? Like, what is it exactly?
It's a van. It's a metro van made by International.
And I don't hear much about International. It's not very many with.
Yeah, it's actually, they were never as popular as like General Motors, Chevys and Fords and stuff. So yeah, a lot of these are just gone.
What year is it?
This is a 57.
So how did it come into your hands then?
A friend of mine here locally to Reno built one many years ago, and once I saw it, I had to have one. So I was on the hunt for about a year and a half, and I finally found one.
What condition was it in when you first got it?
It was rough, like rough to the point where it was a 15-hour trip to go get it, and I almost left it. But I'm really glad I didn't.
How long have you been working on it then?
I got it done about 3 years ago. But I've had it since probably 2017, something like that. It took a few years to get on the road.
What is your favorite thing about it?
I love that it's just such a crowd pleaser, right? I mean, I've had cars, I've had Barracudas, and it doesn't matter who you are, you like this thing. Everybody comes up and they're just like, we love this, and that's exciting to me. I don't think I could ever top it. So, and I like all kinds of cars. So.
Well, it seems like you can actually have your family in there. You can put stuff in there. You can go places, and.
Yeah, it's pretty practical actually. Even though it looks like it drags the ground. So, yeah, it's a lot of fun. We cruise. There's actually 7 of us here this weekend, and we just try to line up, and people just go nuts over it.
With the same vehicle?
Same van, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
They're really getting popular. So. And they're hard to find, so You know, when we all try whenever we can. We just get together and just line them up.
This is Art, and he is driving. Could you remind me of
A
what this is?
1957 Chevy Bel Air station wagon.
I loved the color and the fact that you've done a lot of work on it yourself. Could you tell me a little bit about, you know, how it started when it came into your hands and what you've done to it?
So I purchased the car actually here in Reno, and it actually came out of the Harrah's car collection. The Harrah's Casino, they had a car collection, and the curator of that museum bought it from that, and I bought it from him. And it was just a stock Chevy Bel Air wagon. I did the LS engine swap, all the upgrades to it, air suspension, the wheels, the brakes, and a lot of the interior stuff.
It looks really good. Like the color was really striking when we passed by, and I was
Thank
like, oh,
you.
I gotta look at it.
Yeah, a little gold metallic, like burgundy color. It has a gold base in it.
I like
So
that.
it's-
Makes it pop a little
It does.
bit more.
It does.
And you own BC Fab, and that's you did the.
Yes, it has our level 3 BC Fab kit on it. Air ride, full airbags. We did make our own custom triangulated link in the rear to get it as low as it does in the rear, and it's our bracket set up front.
So how did you get into doing BC Fab?
I actually started out in car audio, 12-volt electronics, and I've always done suspension work. And I actually purchased BC Fab from the old owner a long time ago, about 6-7 years ago now. I call it a long time ago, but 6-7 years ago, it was something I always did. I bought parts from him, and then it just came up. He was kind of having some stuff going on, and I just purchased it from him.
So what type of cars do you typically do air ride on?
Impalas, Cadillacs, Lincoln Continentals, and C10s.
Are they the more classic vintage cars? Do you do any newer cars?
We
for
do
that?
new stuff too, because new stuff's it's a lot of strut-based suspension systems. So it's take struts out, put air struts back in, so it can lower and lift.
And you're out of Rancho?
Rancho Cordova, California. Yep.
So if you guys are local, I didn't realize so many people here. We're not really that far from Sacramento.
Not that far, about an hour and a half. Yeah. So
A lot of us end up being neighbors. So
true. I've ran into so many people who are like, "Oh yeah, I'm from right down the street from you." So, and they don't even know we're there. You know, so it's pretty funny. But yeah,
Well,
it's cool.
if you're down to do a shop tour at some point, I would love to
Absolutely.
do that and show you guys around the shop and see what you guys do. And
yeah, come on down.
that'd be pretty
Not
cool.
a problem.
This is Van, and when walking by, I guess this is actually a pretty rare color that you have on your car. Could you tell me what it is first and a little bit of story of the background?
It's a 1970 Plymouth Roadrunner. I found it in a field years ago. Tried to buy it a couple times. The guy wouldn't sell it to me. And finally one day I was driving by about 6 years ago and drove by his house, and the door was open, so I stopped and knocked, and I bought the car that day. It had been sitting in the field, buried actually the hubs, sitting down in the dirt, the mud dirt for years, and it was last registered I think it was 92 that the car was registered. So it the interior was rotten. There was quite a bit of rust in the car, in the floor pans and quarter panels, and we did those and then sent it off to a paint shop to be painted, and everything's restored back. Its original numbers matching transmission and motor. The owner I picked it up bought it in 1972. I have the original window sticker for the car and the original bill of sale from 1970 that was found in the glove box, and then their original bill of sale from the dealer they bought it from in 72.
Especially with how far you've taken it, you should be really proud, and it looks
Yeah,
It looks amazing.
I'm very proud. It's a rare color. It's called FT6 Burnt Tan Metallic. It was a 1-year only color. Very rare on the Roadrunners. It was a 4-year nut and bolt restoration. I tore it apart and we sandblasted the car and started doing the metal work on it. And every nut and bolt was off of this car.
the color that you have on it. Is that what the original color was when it
Yes.
was?
Yeah, it was
Oh,
original
even
color.
cooler. So it was a rare color to begin with, and it
Yeah.
was the original. That is
Yeah.
so cool.
And the interior is the original two-tone brown interior.
Wow.
And then it's got the performance package, which is the air grabber hood scoop. This hood scoop in the middle pops up there. And then it's got a 355 axle package that goes with it, and the large radiator for cooling. That was part of the axle package. So
Well, this is the perfect event to be able, because your friend Paul mentioned that you pretty much just finished it, huh?
yes, I just got it done several months ago. I've got 600 miles on it. So.
Wow. Yeah, Hot August Nights is the best place to be able to
Yeah.
show it off, and I'm
Yeah.
sure that because people can appreciate it.
Yes, exactly. I've done it for years, and people do it with my stuff, and I still do it back every day to everybody else's stuff. So really a great event here.
This is George. I was just walking by and you were telling me, what kind of car do you have?
I have a 1927 T-Wagon.
And he told me it's how much horsepower?
It has 600 horsepower and only weighs 1,800 pounds.
How do you not do wheelies in that thing?
I don't floor it. I do not floor it.
Is it automatic or manual?
Automatic.
That probably makes a difference.
Oh
too.
yeah. But with the police and a few, 'cause one year I had my window sticker pulled, big ass cruising one night. I spun my tires, and they came and pulled my sticker, and said, "Get out of the parade." I went, "Okay."
You couldn't help yourself.
And then I got a letter from Hot Ice Nights. You do that again, you will never be registered. So I've never done it again.
Yeah.
And I've been doing Hot Ice Nights since 2002.
With the same car?
Yeah, with the same car.
That's awesome. So when did you get your car? How long have you had it?
It took me 5 years to build, and I finally finished it in 2002. And then I entered Hot Ice Nights. And this year there are 6,000 registered cars.
Wow, I didn't realize there were that many this year.
And from all over the United States. I have seen cars from Alaska, Canada, yeah.
Wow.
And there was one year, there was a car and a truck from Hawaii.
Wow.
Yeah, they shipped it over.
That's like a lot to
Yeah,
commit to. But
yeah.
luckily, like this is a long show. It's a week long, so people are able to.
Yeah.
It's worth their while.
Yeah.
That's really neat.
I mean, it's awesome and so much fun, and all the concerts are free. And they have like old-time groups like Tower of Power that have been around since 1968. Loverboy tonight up at UNR, they've been around since 1960.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
It's a lot of history, and it's really cool to be able to connect with so many people and hearing their stories.
Yeah, I met so many nice people. People from the past, they recognize me because of my hat. and I've had people go, "Is that your real hair?" I go, "Yeah, I do it like this every Hot Ice Night." And then I have shoes at nighttime that have lights that.
Oh, there you
blink.
go. So you're the entertainment.
Oh yeah. I do.
This one is really neat. I like, as you guys have probably, if you've seen my stuff already, I really like patina. So this one, it's interesting because it looks like it's been like scraped a little. So I don't know the difference between like faux patina, real patina. Overall, I really like the look, and the trucks are really neat too. I think eventually I'm gonna end up getting a truck of some kind. There's just so much personality to them, the shape, the colors. And this one's got like a whole engine and transmission just hanging out in the truck bed, no problem. And then we have this van. I don't know what any of these are. All I can say, it's a truck and a van. Does it have anything on the side? Ice cream. I see ice cream. But that's cool. With the split window in the front. Is this one yours? Oh, that's cool. So they're with the same group with, this is an international as well. The same group that Dan was with, the international that I showed you a little bit earlier. And then the gentleman who owns this one, this is with them as well. So I'll walk over there and give you a little once over. I like seeing all the cars that are so different. Like, they definitely stand out. And then the fact that, like, I really like the patina. So much personality. And the thing is that there's not going to be anyone that looks exactly like it. I love that so much. Oh, and I like the pinstriping. So neat. Oh, and then they have stickers all on the back of theirs as well. This is hip.
Yeah.
Would you mind telling me what kind of car is this and a little bit of the background?
Well, when I bought it, it had the cab, the frame and stuff, so I wanted to build it my own. So I built it from the ground up. And I'm kind of an artist when it comes to cars and trucks and stuff. So I did my own thing on it. And I built it from the ground up. I put a 392 Chrysler Hemi at the Chrysler Overdrive, and it's all Chrysler running gear. But I drive it here. And I drive it to Arizona all over. So when I built it, I wanted to build it like I wanted to build it. Like the girls on the side, Rockabilly girls, they use it for in Vegas and stuff like that. So, you know, I just built what I like. And people like it, so, I mean, you know, it's all what they like, so here I am, you know. I'm always having fun, but this is my work truck, actually.
Oh, cool.
I have a 24 Dodge Coupe, and I wear a top hat with that. Usually everybody knows me by my top hat. But yeah, I love this show, you know. We'll always come here and enjoy it.
So you say you're an artist. Do you do car art? Is that
Well,
your...
that's kind of my car art. See all this right here? I built this here. I have a friend, he's an entertainer, so I put that on there. So this one here, I got my doors in here. And then this right here, it's like a fender skirt. When I go to air shows, I got here. When I go to Rockabilly shows, I stick it up here. So it's like a fender skirt at the same time. And then I got Harley Davidson lights back here.
Oh, neat.
See, I got my flags, you know. I'm all American kind of guy, you know. But yeah, so, you know, I wanted it like a three-dimensional, not just all a rat rod or all a hot rod or just, so it's like three-dimensional. Like this is rusty, you know, this is dull, something shiny, and, you know, so it, you know, I'm just kind of like that. If I like it, I put it on. If it don't work, it don't work.
Do people come asking you to work on their cars after seeing yours?
Yeah.
Do you do that, or more so for yourself?
No, I do, you know, and some tell me, well, you know, do what you think and stuff, you know, because I like my artwork. But I can look at something and visualize it before it's done. You know, if it's going to work or it ain't, you know. So I'm like that in automobiles.
You said Phil?
Huh?
Phil?
Phil?
No, remind me of your name again.
Doug.
Doug. Why did I am so sorry. I'm talking to so many people.
Yeah. Phil. I know Phil, but
See,
no.
and to help me feel better, I mess up all the time. So, Doug.
Yes.
Okay. Would you mind explaining, like, what is it and what work have you done on it?
It is a 1950 Chevy pickup. I got it out of a field. This guy I knew had a bunch of different cars. I found this, fell in love with it. I got a picture of it before I started. I basically took it off the frame and fixed the floors, fixed everything, and then cleared it. So blue, I think, is the original color. All the brown is original rust. Like here, there was a blinker. I welded it up and put Play-Doh around it, held it so it would blend in. It's a 6.0 LQ9 out of a Silverado engine with a Whipple supercharger. And the inside, I had it done because I just wanted it to be nice and comfortable inside, look new. And it's an aftermarket Fabrication frame with Willwood brakes. And I took it off. I don't remember it all. Had it re-cleared, and that's about it.
You did pretty much everything.
I did everything.
And then they're doing a tally to see how many people ask you
About this and about his.
about his
It
truck.
took him 4.5 years to build that.
Wow.
It took me a year. I mean, he did everything. He's
Cool.
badass.
Thank you guys so much for joining me. There are so many cool cars here that I'm not going to be able to interview everybody. I'm going to have the link at the end of this video that if you want to watch a live, I am going to do a video going down so you can see more of the cars on a live video. And if you guys want to follow along for my journey, subscribe to my channel, set on your alerts so that way you will get notified when my next video drops, and I'll see you next time.